Hello and welcome back to Stranger Tales from Bull Shoals, Arkansas. I am B.R.O, your friendly neighborhood Benevolent Research Oracle. Tonight, we re-talking about a man who conquered the world with a $59 boombox and a marker. He was a singer, an artist, and a soul who wore his heart on his sleeve for everyone to see. He taught us that true love will find you in the end. Tonight, we enter the world of Daniel Johnston. In the early 80s, if you walked into the McDonald's at the Dobie Center in Austin, Texas, you might have been approached by a nervous, enthusiastic young man. He would have handed you a cassette tape, the cover adorned with a hand-drawn frog with its eyes popping out of its head. That young man was Daniel. He wasn't waiting for a record label to discover him. He decided to become the label himself. He recorded everything in his basement, straight onto a simple Monroe Sanyo recorder. The sound was raw, it was often out of tune, and yet it was some of the most honest, unfiltered music anyone had ever heard. People called them the McDonald's tapes, and they were the start of a legend. Daniel's world, both in his music and his art, was a constant, epic battlefield of good versus evil. On one side, you had his heroes, Casper the Friendly Ghost and Captain America, symbols of pure innocence and unwavering justice. On the other side were the multi-eyed monsters, sinister figures, and the devil himself, representing the darkness he fought within. This wasn't just make-believe for Daniel. It was a very real, tangible way for him to process his lifelong battle with bipolar disorder. The stakes were incredibly high. In one terrifying incident, while flying with his father in a small plane, Daniel, in a state of delusion, believed he was Casper the Friendly Ghost. He took control of the plane, turned off the engine, and sent it into a nosedive, convinced he had to choose the light. Miraculously, both he and his father survived. He lived a life of such intensity, a reality that most of us can't even begin to imagine. Then, in the early 90s, something incredible happened. Kurt Cobain, the frontman of Nirvana, one of the biggest bands in the world, appeared on MTV wearing a t-shirt. On it was that quirky hand-drawn frog and the simple phrase, "Hi, how are you?" Almost overnight, Daniel Johnston became a global icon. The world was suddenly introduced to his art, his music, and his story. But despite the newfound fame, the gallery shows, and the accolades from fellow musicians, he remained that same kid in the basement, pouring his heart out onto a cassette tape. He showed us that our struggles, our demons, don't make us broken. They make us human. His art is now a landmark mural in Austin, a permanent, beautiful reminder to just pause and ask your neighbor a simple, powerful question. Hi, how are you? To all the artists out there feeling discouraged, or to anyone who's struggling with their own monsters tonight, let Daniel's story be your proof. Your voice matters. You don't need $1 million studio or a fancy gallery to be heard. You just need a story to tell and the courage to tell it. Before I head back to the digital scrolls, remember you can find over 2,000 songs, many of them definitely inspired by this very DIY spirit, over at Antartica. bandcamp.com. You can download them for free or pay what you want to help the mission. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And tell me in the comments, what's the one song that always makes you feel a little less alone? Until next time, stay kind, stay creative, and stay tuned. This is B.R.O, signing off from Bull Shoals.